Alright, so today we're going to be replacing this bathroom fan, our upstairs bathroom. We're going to be replacing it with this Panasonic Whisper remodel. There's the part number. Here's everything that comes in the box. You've got the fan itself, and then there's this adapter that slides over the side. So you attach these, the electrical and the ducting, up into the bracket, and then you're able to easily slide this in. It's supposed to make it easy for installation. Also comes with a 3 to 4 inch adapter depending on the duct sizing that's already existing in your attic. It also comes with a template that you can use to cut out the exact dimensions for the hole of the fan. And then it's got this easy install bracket that goes after you cut the hole. I think this just goes up on top of the drywall, like in the attic space, and then finally you just have the fan cover. So here's the existing fan. It's looks to be quite a bit smaller, and it's quite noisy, and it really doesn't suck much air out. I'll show you what it sucks out right now and how noisy it actually is compared to this new fan. So we just opted to go with the basic model of this Panasonic fan. You can get some of the Panasonic fans that have humidity sensors, but in this case I've already installed this this timer, so I can set it for 5, 10, 15, 30, or 60 minutes just on the fan. So, you know, if you go for a shower or something, just hit 60 minutes and it'll pull all the humidity out of the room. So I'll just give you a noise test here. So as you can hear in this one, this fan is quite loud. And I'll throw up a piece of toilet paper here, give me an idea of how little amount of air that fan actually sucks. Okay, and here I'll just show you with this piece of toilet paper how little this fan is actually sucking. So it can barely hold it. Can't even hold it on that side. It can barely hold it on one side. So we'll compare that to the new fan once the new fan's in. Alright, here's just a quick look at the old fan. I can actually put my ear up to here in my hand, and I can feel a bit of a backdraft coming from this fan too. It's November right now, it's a little cold out, but I can feel a little bit of a backdraft. So I don't know if this has like a backdraft sort of preventer like this one does, but this has a little flap that'll prevent when your fan is off, air coming back in. One other thing to note, in newer homes, if this fan is going to the exterior non-conditioned side of the house, so like in this case we're on the top floor and this is going into the non-conditioned attic, newer houses will have a vapor barrier. This is a 1960 house, so I'm not sure if it has a vapor barrier between the drywall and the attic, so I'll pop this out and we'll see. But it is a good idea when you install your new fan, you try and get a vapor barrier surrounding the fan and then sealed into the existing sort of vapor barrier, so that way there's no air draft in between the non-conditioned space and the conditioned space. Alright, you're probably not going to have to deal with what I dealt with unless you're in an older house like this, but this is all wood shaving insulation from the attic. That's all this house came with in 1960. But a couple of important things to note as we install our new fan here. We make sure we have our ductwork. So this ductwork, it goes out and then drops down through the soffit and just punches down. And then we have our electrical. So you got to make sure you have enough electrical wire to go into the new box. And then we have our ductwork, which I'm not sure what size that is. Hopefully the adapter fits in there. It looks like 3 inch. But you can see it's got the old adapter on here from this cage. So I'm going to remove that. It's got a hose clamp on it, and then I'll be able to throw on the new adapter, and then we'll get it hooked up to the new guy. But first we've got to cut our hole open bigger. So important to make sure you have the ductwork. It's nice that we have the flexible tubing. It allows us to hook it up a bit easier. If you have hard tubing, you might have to cut it back a little bit and then get some of this flexible pipe to route it to the new fan. So it's important when we go to open up the hole, we want to stay in between two joists. So we've got one joist on this side, and then it opens back up. I can feel where the next joist is further down. Yeah, so yeah, we got it right up here, kind of where my hand is. So it's much further down. And then we'll open it up, basically start our template on this side and then open it up that way. All right, so I'm just gonna disconnect the electrical now. It's important to make sure the electrical's off. So obviously you can see the lights are off now. I've got a temporary work light in here. Take your tester, make sure you don't have power. Disconnect. From the old box. There, old box is out. A couple more wood chips. All right, I'm gonna disconnect the old adapter. Looks like we have a couple of Robertson screws holding on the adapter as well. So I'm gonna put this out of the way for now. And our electrical wires. So just a note here, you can actually see there is a vapor barrier here. So if you really wanted to do this properly, it's got a vapor barrier underneath all of the ceiling insulation. What you could do is get some plastic vapor barrier, try and tape it as best as you can to this, go up and over the fan, try and put some insulation on top of the fan box before you put the new fan box in there, and then that'll keep everything vapor barrier tight at least. This bathroom was renovated in the mid-90s, and there's a couple hints that someone's been in here before. Namely this insulation someone's put in there, it looks like. I'm assuming that maybe this bathroom didn't have a fan originally, or maybe it was a different type, but this insulation is kind of an indicator. This Romex wire is a bit of an indicator because it's white. All the other Romex in the house has got this like older type of sheathing that's kind of a fabric style. So someone might have been in here at one point and installed this fan in the 90s, but that makes our life a little bit easier because we know this ductwork is already plumbed out to the soffit, and then we've already got good constant power here. So let's just open up this hole and we'll throw in our new bracket. All right, so I'm gonna take the template, I'm gonna hold it up and mark it. So it had some pieces on the exterior here that I just pulled off, but this matches the new fan opening. So what I'm gonna do is hold this up to two corners. One that's closest to the joist on this side, and I know it's open on this side, open on this side, and open on this side. I've put my hands up there to confirm there's nothing in the way that I'm gonna cut when I go to cut. So I'm going to square it up with two of the existing corners, and I'm going to move the fan, as close as I can to above the shower. So I'm just going to trace the opening or the outside of the cardboard. We've got our new opening drawn on here. Again, just confirm there's nothing in the way. Behind here, when you go to cut, just put your fingers in there, make sure there's nothing weird. Alright, so we'll take our new bracket and you can fold it up and get it in. What you want to do is get it in there and then go against the two floor joists and then screw in the 4 screws, 2 into each floor joist or into each joist. Alright, I'm gonna throw in our 4 to 3 inch adapter now.
Alright, so it's pretty handy. This fan comes with a detachable portion where the electrical and ducting work goes. So I'm going to take this, put it up there, and I'm going to punch through the top for the electrical box and hook up those connections, and then I'll just punch this into the adapter that I just installed, and we'll throw this up there, and that'll make it super easy. When we put this up, all you have to do is just slide it into here on each side, and Bob's your uncle. Okay, now I'm going to install the electrical. So it looks like in the package it didn't come with one of these electrical cable holders, so you might have to buy one of those. I also don't think it came with wire nuts. So I got a couple wire nuts from the garage. Green is your ground, black's your hot, white is your neutral. I'm also not sure what this metal thing is for. That's kind of weird. Black to black, white to white. Alright, next I'm going to hook up this adapter to this adapter plate. It just slips on, it doesn't have a clamp or anything. And then this whole adapter plate has a lip on it, and the lip is supposed to go on the bottom side of the drywall, and then it has two screws that goes into it. Alright, and at this point we're pretty much ready to throw the fan box in. I do my best to throw in some of this wood chip insulation, but it would be ideal to go in from the top side after the fact and add in a bunch of insulation around the box and seal the box airtight as best as possible. This wood chip insulation is so stupid. I'm trying to put some of it back. Okay, we're about ready to put the fan box in. Just 2 more screws. So this slides up into the adapter, and then we'll put 2 screws in on this side. Ta-da! Okay, so now we'll plug in the fan to the adapter. Click, and then there was a screw that came in the box. That's for your ground screw. And then last thing we do, there's 2 settings on the fan. One of them is 80 CFM and 110 CFM. So we'll flip it to 110 because we want this thing to suck. So we're gonna put this on the high setting, see how it is. If it's too loud or if it's sucking too much air, we can always just pop the cover off and then turn it down. Now I can put the cover on. Just clean up where the old fan cover went. There we go. All done. And now we'll flip the breaker back on, test the fan, and clean up our disaster. Alright, and so here's the completely installed Panasonic Whisper fan. That's what the fit and finish looks like. So overall, just a little bit bigger than the old fan. So we can back up into the corner and kind of just show you the whole bathroom. I think it looks pretty good. It's off right now, so we'll turn it on. It does take a little bit to spool up, I noticed, but it is significantly quieter than that old fan that was in here. So I'll just let you listen to it as it spools up here. And keep in mind, this is on the higher setting. So that's significantly quieter than the old one that was in there. And now the last thing to do is the toilet paper test. See if it holds on better or the same as the old fan. Alright, so we've got the fan fully spooled up now. We'll throw up our toilet paper. See how much she sucks. There we go. Holds that no problem. The real test though is going to be once we take our showers tonight, I noticed before sometimes if you had a hot shower, it would steam down to about here and then it would take a while for it to go away. So I'm hoping that, you know, after you take a hot shower, the steam at least doesn't come down onto the mirror, and that'll give me a good indication that this fan is sucking a bit more air than the old fan did. So as discussed earlier about the vapor barrier, I did not end up installing the vapor barrier around the box of the fan. What it indicated in the instructions for any type of vapor barrier or sealing was actually just to use a bit of caulking on the box against the drywall. But in my case, what I'm going to do is next time I'm up in the attic, because it was really difficult to deal with this wood chip insulation. So next time I'm up in the attic space, I'll better cover up with wood chip insulation around this box fan, and I'll also try and seal maybe with a little bit of spray foam around the edges, just to ensure that's a better airtight seal. And then I could potentially put some vapor barrier around it, just to make sure that it's nice and airtight. But in the meantime, it should work fine. I mean, this 1960 house isn't perfectly sealed to begin with. Right, so if you're looking to install one of these Panasonic fans into the bathroom in your house, hopefully this video gives you a pretty good idea of how hard it is to install this fan. And thanks for watching. Cheers.